outnumbered when it comes to state control of school districts, and unfortunately, they need to be out of here. You know, somebody asked me a question. They said, so what do you think about state control? You know, what do you think? What about the takeover of Camden? I said, you know what? I think that's the wrong question. The question should be, what can we do to improve these school districts, to work as partnerships with the districts so they don't have to go under state control? That should be the question. You know, it was never supposed to, what is it, 22 years here? And it's just absurd. It's really an enforced dependency, and it was never intended to be that way. You know, Senator Ron Rice and I work very close on this issue, and it just always strikes me how, you know, just outlandish it is that the court in the Newark case actually said that they didn't need to come out from under state control. I mean, I know that you satisfied 4 of the 5 criteria. You should be out from under state control. And it's interesting because I'm a policy person, you know, and so I study the law, and the Cusack law that went into effect, the whole purpose was to avoid going under state control, was to work collaboratively with the districts as partners, hand in hand. And, you know, I think that the school districts, local control, people deserve to have input and control over how their schools are run. It is the most important thing that we can do for our children. And I'll tell you why. Well, first of all, let me back up. I got a little excited coming in here, but I want to thank you first. I want to thank you for your endorsement, the NJDA endorsement. I have worked many years with Vince Giordano and Barbara Kashishian and Wendell, and you know, we share the same values, and you are, you know, you're the backbone of New Jersey. You are there every day, educators, paraprofessionals, working long days to make our schools the best place for our children to learn. You know, my mother was a teacher, and I know that she didn't work from, what, 9 to 3? And I know she went in early and she stayed late, and she stayed to help, you know, be an advisor to the club. I know some of you do the help with coaching, and the point of the matter is, this governor just doesn't get it. He just doesn't value public education. He just doesn't. And I'm so excited to be here because I just feel it in my bones that we're going to be successful, and I'm going to be the education governor. Count on it. Count on it. And why is that? Why am I so excited about it? Because that's what made me who I am. You know, my father emigrated from Italy when he was 3, and he resided in Newark. He wanted to be a doctor, but it wasn't to be. He had to drop out of high school to take care of his family. That's what they did back in the 20s and the 30s. And my mom married him. She was an office worker and then a substitute teacher. Never quite finished Newark Teachers College, but back then she was able to teach. And we grew up in Nutley, in a suburb of Newark, I'm sure you all know it, in a very small apartment where my parents slept in the living room in a fold-out couch so my sisters and I could have a bedroom. And we didn't have a lot, but I never felt poor, and we had everything we needed. And what we really had was parents telling me the importance of those, you know, those immigrant values: hard work, sacrifice, self-discipline, and a good education, and how that combination would not just open the doors of opportunity, but that they could just transform a young person's life. And so when my father died, he was only 51. He was a union butcher. He used to work hard. Let me tell you something, he didn't make a lot of money, but he worked so hard every day. I still remember him coming home and falling asleep on the couch before dinner. And so let me digress for a minute, talk about unions, and then I'll get back to where I was. So when I hear this governor say that unions are the problem, I think of my father, and with every fiber in my being, I tell him, unions aren't the problem. Unions are the solution. Unions are the solution.